the best pitcher for the Philadelphia Phillies. His name is Jose Alvarado. He has now been suspended for 80 games for performance-enhancing drugs. He got caught. He is now suspended under the rules of the collective bargaining agreement. 80 games, first try, 162 games, that's a full year, second try, lifetime. Not like permanently ineligible, lifetime till you're dead type of thing, but lifetime meaning after a year you can try to come back and we'll see what the league would do. Players get tested for steroids all the time. When a player tests positive, for whatever reason, the agent playbook has them telling a lie, an excuse. It wasn't me. I had no idea. I would never do anything like that. It was in a medicine I was taking. Who knew? We do. That's who knows. The team. We can look at whatever drug a player is taking and we can tell the player whether or not that drug will lead to a positive test. We tell the players, for the love of God, just don't take medicine without telling us what you're taking first. Alvarado is claiming that he took a weight loss drug. He was taking it during the off season, I guess, to make up for In-N-Out Burger, whatever. That's not shrapnel In-N-Out Burger. I could have said Shake Shack. I could have said Mickey D's. I could have said Pizza Pino. I could have said anything. He took a weight loss drug and now is out, not just for 80 games. He can't pitch for the Phillies in the playoffs. As a reminder, what was collectively bargained is that if you test positive during the course of a season and you're out for 80 games and it's before game number 82, where you could, in theory, come back after sitting out 80 games and play in regular season games, the rule is clear. You are not eligible to be on the postseason roster. Hard stop. Period. It's not even up for discussion. Alvarado, who was leading the Phillies with 7 saves, he had a 2.7 earned run average. He's appeared in 20 games. He's the closer. Done. And the best Dave Dombrowski could do, who is the Phillies president of baseball operations, caveat, I've known him for 26 years. He was the president of the Marlins. He was the GM of the Marlins, the first GM of the Marlins. Dave Dombrowski has had an amazing career. Titles with Boston, the Marlins in 97. Here's the thing. Dombrowski has to toe the company line. But doesn't he realize that when you've got a chance to be in the Hall of Fame, which he does, that you want to try to do better with your quote than what Dombrowski said? It's not something he did knowingly. I believe that. The way he talked to me. I've had a lot of conversations with a lot of players about a lot of stuff, and I don't often believe anything they're saying. I want to believe it. I don't want to set my children up for failure. I don't want to put them in a corner where they're forced to lie, and I know they're going to lie, and then they do lie, and then I get angry that they lied. Why would I do that? Why would you ever ask a question when you know the answer to it and you're not inside a courtroom? That is the only time that you ought to be asking questions on direct examination where you know what the answer is. I don't really care when my players test positive for steroids or get suspended for whatever they get suspended for. There's been an appeals process or not, either way, for the player to take the suspension under the CBA, it is all based on acknowledgement and not willing to fight anymore. Why? Because you did it. Because you tested positive. That's it. End of story. End of negotiating. End of power. A weight loss drug. I'm sorry. Now Jordan Romano, my guy Jordan Romano, is going to be their closer. They just signed him in the offseason. Remember how bad he was in April, but he is on fire right now. They're going to hope Romano will ride this through to October and through October. But what goes on inside that clubhouse, it's anger. Anger at the player, not sympathy. not looking at himself without clothes on, getting into the shower and saying, "Oh, I get it." Nope, none of that. Do you remember when, oh, Coca, you're going to have to help me. What was the name of the Mets GM who got in trouble for futzing around with the injured list? He pretended players were injured, and then he got in trouble for it. Billy Epler. God, you know what? You know why Coca's the best producer? I mean, without bringing it inside the tent too much. Because when I say something, it takes him 1 second. He's right in there, right in the right ear with what it is. Remember what Billy Epler did? Here's the rule. It's very simple. You can't make up an injury to put a player on the injured list because they stink. And I told you that all teams do it. When Epler got in trouble, I told you I can't believe they're making an example out of Epler. That's such an anti-Steve Cohen thing because there's not one president or one GM that has not put a player on the injured list for something phantom. And I told you what the injuries are that you do. You don't do it with a concussion because, hey, that's concussion protocol and people see that. It's the backache. That's always a good one. A little soreness. Aaron Nola is on the injured list for Philly. Aaron Nola, who I told you in many nothing personal picks of the day, he is having a year that is hard to imagine. His earned run average is 6.16. This is supposed to be with Zach Wheeler and Christopher Sanchez, maybe the top 3 deepest rotations. Definitely a playoff rotation. And Nola's just been stinky. I don't mean a little stinky. I mean like hold your nose, light a match type of stinky. Now we find out he's got a sprained right ankle. Apparently, he suffered it last week during a pre-game agility drill. Just curious whether there was any cameras out there showing that sprained ankle. That's a good one. Do you know the last time Aaron Nola went on the injured list? About 8 years ago. Of course, they put out there that Nola wanted to pitch through the sprained ankle. The thing is, he was so bad that the club had no choice but to do something. So what you do is you put a guy, you hide him on the injured list. You tell everyone, don't worry, it's not serious. You say, listen, when he hurt his ankle, it hurt his back and various other things. His mechanics were different, and that's what's causing him to stink. The reason this is the old playbook is that what we were able to do is explain poor performance through some sort of injury that is caused by some sort of other injury that didn't seem serious at the time, but because of compensation for that, so to speak, injury, it causes change of mechanics, therefore change of approach, therefore change of results. For crying out loud, Meatloaf, we've been saying that for 25 years.